you all? Are you all doing good? Very nice. So what are we going to learn in this video? We are going to learn about demonstratives. So what are demonstratives? Demonstratives are nothing but when we point out to few objects or object, we use our finger, we use our index finger and point out, right? So this, that, these, those, these are the 4 demonstratives that we are going to learn in this video. But before we learn about the demonstratives, let us first try to read the demonstrative. Okay, as we all know the sounds, we have learned all the digraph sounds, all the letter sounds. Now we are going to try blending and reading the demonstrative words. Okay, let's start with this demonstrative word. What is the sound of this digraph? D, E, S. How do we read this? D, E, D, S, this. So the demonstrative is this. Now the next demonstrative. When I am writing, you can try reading this. D, a, that, that. Very good. So now let's move on to the next demonstrative, which is, what do we see here? We see a magic E here, right? So what did we learn? Whenever there is magic E at the end, this vowel will say its name. So now let's try using our magic E concept and reading this word. The, E, S, these. Very good. So now let's look into our last demonstrative word. Here also you see a magic E standing at the end of the word. So what sound will this make? It will make the sound O. Now let's try reading this word. D, O, S, those. So now let's try reading all the demonstratives that it's listed here. This, that, these, those. These are the 4 demonstratives about which we are going to learn in this video. Now when I say this, it means that I am pointing out to any object that is closer to me. Okay, I am referring to an object, or I am talking about the object that is closer to me, okay, which is very close to me. For example, this is a board. Okay, so is the board very close to me or far away from me? Yes, of course I can reach out to this board. So the board is closer to me. So I will say this is a board. And am I talking about only one board? Yes, I am talking about only one board. So I will say this is a board. Okay, so now I will show you one example. You all can look here. So do you see a picture and do you see the index finger pointing out to an object here? What do you think this is? It's a pond, correct? So now, do you see the pond closer to this index finger? Yes. So how do we say it? This is a pond. Why a pond? Because I am talking about only one pond here. So I will be using the demonstrative this. Okay. How do we say it in the sentence? This is a pond. Now let's try to write it. Okay. This is a pond and full stop. So whenever we are talking about only one object, we will be using this word a. Okay, this is a pond. Why this? Because it is closer, the pond is closer to me. That is why I will be using the demonstrative this. Now let's take this example. Now when I use a demonstrative that, it means that I am pointing out to the object, to one object that is far away from me. that which I cannot reach out to. So in that scenario, I will be using the demonstrative that. Okay. So now let's look into this. So do you see, what do you see here? It's a fish, correct? Now, do you think the fish is closer to this index finger? No, it is far away from this index finger. So I'll be using the demonstrative that. And how many fish do you see here? Only one. So what sentence I'll be writing? That is a fish. So I'll be not saying this. I'll be saying instead that. So now let's try writing it in the form of a sentence. That is a fish. The digraph and a full stop. So this is how we write the demonstrative. Why a fish? Because I am talking about only one fish. Now always remember this and that you will be using the sentence when we are talking about only one object. When we are referring to only one object. Okay? Now let's move on to the next demonstrative, which is these. The concept is the same, but these and those, we will be using it for pointing out to objects, more than one objects that are closer to you or far away from you. Okay, now let's check out this example. Now do you see here? The index finger is here, and what are these? These are coins. Okay, coins. So do you see one coin or many here? So we say coins. So it is closer to the index finger. Now let's put it in the form of a sentence. We will say these are coins. Why these are coins? Because the coins are closer to the index finger. That is why we will be using the sentence these are coins. Now let's try to write this. These. Okay, and we will not be using is a. We will be using the new tricky word that we have already learned, are. These are coins. Coins. So coin, when we write coin, it means only one. But when we write it means coins, many coins. Okay. These are coins. It means coins are closer to me. I can reach out. I can point out to the coin that which I am holding it, or it is closer to me. Now let's go to the next and last demonstrative, which is those. So those we will be using when we are talking about objects that are far away from me. Okay, not object but objects that are far away from me. Alright, so now let's look into one more example. What do you see here? I see an index finger, and what are these? These are pens. So are the pens closer to the index finger or far away from the index finger? They are far away from the index finger. So which demonstrative would I be using? I have to use the demonstrative those. So how do you put it in the form of a sentence? Those are pens. Okay. So now let's write it in the form of a sentence. Those are pens. Pens. Okay, so remember, whenever we are talking about these and those, we are talking about many objects. Okay, and we will be using the tricky word are here and not is a. Remember, whenever we are talking about one object, or whenever we are pointing out to only one object that is closer or far away from you, we will be using this and that. Whenever we are pointing out to objects, many objects that are closer or far away from you, we will be using these or those. I hope you understood this concept. Please practice this every day at home. I am sure you are all going to remember this. Okay? See you all in the next video. Bye-bye.